Hello, everybody. I'm David, and today I'm going to be talking about The Flash Season 3, Episode 3, Luck Be a Lady. And I'm going to tell you guys, I don't feel lucky with this episode. I feel like this metahuman was casting a spell on me. No, for real, let's get right into this metahuman today. I did not like the metahuman. I found her to be very annoying. She had this power. She didn't have to do anything. It's like the villain from the very first, was it the first or the last episode, where all he had to do was just look at people, look at things, and things would happen. And I feel like the villains are so lucky this year because none of them have to do anything. They just walk in a room and shit happens. And that's what, I get it, that's what this villain was all about, but then it starts spreading throughout the whole city, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this episode? I love The Flash, but this was a metahumans where they really reached out there on what the limits of what a metahuman should do. And I get it, they were having a lot of fun with the episode, and yes, there were some funny moments. But for the most part, I think they went a little bit too far with the humor and the craziness in this episode, where I was like, okay. And plus, the actress herself, not that she was a bad actress, but I felt the way she was playing it was very annoying. I did not like the way it was the metahuman was portrayed. So that's my biggest gripe. Let's talk about some of the positives. Okay, so we got Barry and Iris wanting to rush into marriage. I did find that church scene awkward and hilarious at the same time. I couldn't believe they would interrupt a funeral just to go get married as fast as they can. And I'm like, wait a minute, where did this come from? Why? And then the priest all of a sudden starts coughing, and you see like a rash happening. And I'm like, okay. And then we have HR returning. No, not HR. HR was the last one. Harry Wells returning from Earth 2 with a message for Wally, saying that, Wally, you're broken up. His daughter, Speedy. No, Speedy is from Arrow. You know, the one, Jessie Quick. She recorded a message for Wally saying that she wants to break up. And by the end of the episode, Wally decides to leave. Wow. I really hope this isn't the end of Wally. I like Wally. I think Wally is just as great as Roy from Arrow was. And the fact that they just wrote him off like that, I really feel kind of cheated on. And maybe now, thinking about it more, I'm kind of frustrated with this episode, because it's like, they were doing everything wrong. They should, if you're gonna, like, write Wally out, at least give him a proper ending. And I hope, it's been my hope that he will show up on Legends of Tomorrow, specifically since Victor Garber is leaving the show. And if one half of Firestorm leaves, the other half of Firestorm should be leaving too. And if there is a superhero that's leaving, why not add Wally to the show then? Replace one superhero with another. And Wally would be the perfect one. I think they could use a speedster on the show. So I'm kind of frustrated with that a little bit. Then we also got Cisco. I did like the very beginning, when the very beginning started and you see Cisco and Barry. You think they're in the middle of the fight, but it actually turns out to be Barry and Cisco playing laser tag with a bunch of kids. I actually thought that was funny. I thought it was a nice little opening there, and Caitlin was hanging out too. Then we get a bombshell by the end of the episode. The bombshell is that apparently Cecile is pregnant, and Joe is like, mind blown. I don't know how that's going to be resolved, especially since one of his kids just left and now he's having another one with another woman. Okay, that should be cool. You should be proud of that, unless you weren't expecting it. I'm gonna guess we're gonna see Joe kind of kind of losing it a little bit, maybe in the next, stressing about it. But then by the end of the episode, I think he'll be cool with it. And then we have the thinker and the mechanic just laying down in the background, watching everything as it happens. It's like they were watching the episode with us. So I don't see much movement from them yet, and I can't really comment much on them. But for the most part, look, this was a fine episode. It was an okay episode. Not the best, not the worst, but I expected better from The Flash, especially by this point. Something that I was also really noticing is I think they need to tone down a little bit on the comedy. I love when Flash is funny, but not when it's like over the top funny, where it's almost not cringeworthy, but it's like I felt they just pushed it too much on this one. I liked last week's episode a lot more. I liked even the premiere episode a lot more. But now I'm starting to get a sense that I feel like they're pushing too much on the comedic side of all of this. And I want to see some of the drama as well. I want to see a good balance of the drama and the comedy. Something like the first season had. The first season had a great mixture of all of it. Same thing with the second season as well. So hopefully they find a way. This is 3 episodes in. If we don't see improvement by episode 9 is usually the mid-season finale. If we don't see them toning down on the comedy by that episode, I think I'm going to be a little bit worried. So for now, this was like, if I were to rate it out of 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Not as strong as the last 2, but it was still an enjoyable episode, I'm going to admit. Just with a lot more mistakes than the last 2. So with that being said, guys, I hope you comment below and tell me your thoughts on this episode. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. Start a discussion. And until next time, take care.